Hello everyone, welcome to the first training session on data science. In this session, I'm going to introduce you to what is artificial intelligence, what is data science, why data science is important, how the career is booming, and other introductory topics. This is a very important session as it lays the foundation for future training sessions. Let's take a moment to understand what is AI. We've been using this term quite a lot, right? AI involves computer software that thinks and acts like human beings. It's a rapidly growing field and the impact is everywhere. It is used in multiple areas of the business. It is used to predict fraud. It is used to predict future diseases that one could get. It is used in detecting facial images. You might have heard of attendance management system. People use their thumb impressions to gain access to offices or school buildings. Nowadays, that recognition or authentication is done by reading of images. Your face is detected by the system and you are allowed access. What is the technology behind all of this? It is artificial intelligence. Let me give you one more example. You watch your movie, your favorite movie. You listen to a beautiful song that you like. You watch a video in YouTube. After a while, you see that the app is recommending you similar type of movies, similar type of videos that you can watch. What is the recommendation system based on? It is artificial intelligence. See, this wonderful science, the wonderful technology is beginning to sweep every area of our life. And that's what you're going to learn. Okay, let's understand these two terms, strong AI and weak AI. In strong AI, computers or software, they are thinking at the level of human beings, right? The reasoning, thinking, logical deduction, everything is at the level of human being. If you really see, we are not there yet. Okay, we are at a level of what I will call peak AI, where we are solving problems by detecting useful patterns. This is the dominant mode of AI today, and in a short while we will move to the strong AI, where computers and softwares that you are going to write will think at the level of human beings. Okay, can you guess who this gentleman is? I'm flashing this gentleman's photo for a reason. Take a moment. You can also see he's using uh, an old type of computer, probably in the 60s and 50s. It's a black and white photo. Okay. Some of you might have guessed his name right. He's none other than John McCarthy. He coined the term AI in 1957. If you really see, this fascinating world of AI has been around for a long time, but it has caught up in a big way in the last few years. Why it has caught up in the last few years, we are going to see that in subsequent slides. So for now, let's understand AI is about operating at a level of human thinking, right? There are two types of AI, strong AI and weak AI. Weak AI is the dominant mode of artificial intelligence today. Data science is the study of data. It involves developing methods of analyzing data and information, right? It also involves, storing, retrieving. All those activities are part of this data science. But the objective is to extract or infer useful information about the data that is with you. That's the goal of data science. You want to gain insights and knowledge so that you can take action, so that you can be proactive, you can be predictive. All this proactive, predictive aspect is at the core of data science, right? I asked you earlier, data science has taken off in a big way in the last few years. That's because the amount of data that is getting generated and stored is increasing at a much faster rate. In 2025, the data storage, global data sphere, right? All the data that is stored in the world, it will be 175 zillion bytes, zettabytes. What is zettabyte? It is 1 trillion GB. That's the amount of data that we are talking about. If you see, along with this, there's another interesting phenomenon that is happening. The number of photos and the number of videos, they are also increasing. See the number of photos, right? This is in billion. Until 80s, it's very few, right? But see this 2000, it's beginning, right? 2010, that's when we have this mobile phone where people are clicking photos everywhere and see the growth. And this is only till 2018. And you can imagine how it will be, how much it will be currently, and how much it's going to be in the years to come. So large amount of data is getting stored, is getting processed, which gives an opportunity for us to understand the process or the problem or the issue better. And that's what data science is all about. It's about storing data, it's about understanding the data, it's about using data to make inferences and decisions, which can then be used to predict and prevent things. So, data science allows products and business to tell their story very powerfully and engagingly. If you see, data science is a career. As per World Economic Forum, the new type of jobs that will be created in future will all have a strong AI component. And the declining roles in future are traditional jobs like data entry, accounting, bookkeeping, administrative, customer service, business services. All these types of jobs will still be there, but the number of such jobs will be fewer. So I'm very happy that you're all taken the right step to prepare yourself for the future. And let's understand this once more. Why data science is important to business. You saw earlier there is proliferation of data. There's both structured data and unstructured data, right? When I say unstructured data, I mean photos, videos, they are not structured like numbers, right? And data is the new oil, and data science is really the electricity that powers the industry. It is the carrier for today and tomorrow. Industries are becoming more data driven, and new innovations are being made every day by intelligently using the data. Here, businesses are able to make better decisions with quantifiable evidence much more effectively than in the past, all due to proliferation of data and by using the data and by analyzing that zettabytes of data that we have now. Remember, we did not have so much data in the past. Now we have zettabytes of data, which all gives very useful information about process, about information. They can be analyzed so that people can take better decisions. Better decisions means more money, less cost, happy customers, happy employees. That's what the business wants. And data science is enabling this revolution. Moving on, what are the tasks of data scientists? Data scientists, as I mentioned, collect the data, analyze it. You use data-driven techniques for solving business problems. You use that, whatever you have found out, communicate the results in a very powerful manner to business and IT leaders. Importantly, you spot trends, you spot patterns, you spot relationships. This is very, very, very important. This is one of the core jobs of a data scientist, right? Spot trends, identify patterns, observe the relationships, and then convert this into powerful visualizations. That's what you will do as part of being a data scientist. And remember, you do all of this to solve the pressing problems of business and world. What are the data science tools that are there, right? Python, R, right? These are important programming languages that are used. There are libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. All of this you're going to learn, right? There's also visualization using Tableau, Power BI, databases like NoSQL, MongoDB. All those things are there, and all of this form the data science universe. What are you going to cover in subsequent classes, subsequent sessions? You're going to see the basics of Python programming, NumPy, Pandas, libraries, Matplotlib, machine learning. In this, we are going to cover regression and logistics. We are going to do 2 projects. All of this, right? We are going to cover both the basic and also advanced topics. And the projects that you're going to do as part of this training program are very important because you're going to learn to apply these whatever you have learned, right? Whatever you have learned in theory, projects give an opportunity for you to apply because it gives you an opportunity to clarify things, to understand things better. And if you have questions, we are there to help you, right? We're going to handle you as you're doing these projects, right? So that your understanding is enhanced and you're able to land in a very good data science job. This is what we are going to cover in the data science course. Okay, we have been talking about data science, artificial intelligence. There's another concept, right? Machine learning, right? Machine learning and data science are very closely related, right? And they're used interchangeably also. At the core of it, machine learning involves studying algorithms and statistical models. Remember I said a data scientist's job is to observe the data, look for patterns, identify relationships, and this is done using algorithms and statistical models. In machine learning, you perform a specific task without using explicit instructions. Rather, you rely on patterns that you are observing, which is why this is called as AI. Remember, you're not giving explicit instructions. You are making the software to infer, to understand the patterns. That is why this is called as artificial intelligence, right? You are making predictions and decisions without being explicitly told programmatically. Understand this. Remember what I said about AI. AI involves thinking like humans, right? So the programming is thinking like humans. You're not telling exactly what to do. The program understands the patterns and draws its own inference. That is why this is called as artificial intelligence. Having seen what is machine learning, let's understand the difference between machine learning and traditional programming. In traditional programming, data is fed into the processing aspect of the computer and we get the output. Input is given, processing is done by the computer, and we get output. Processing is nothing but the computer program that is written for processing the data. So you have input, process, and an output. In the case of machine learning, you're feeding data and you're also feeding the output as part of the input itself. The program then determines what is an output and what is not an output from the data you have given and creates a series of steps called as algorithm. Let me explain this once more because this is a key concept. In traditional programming, output happens at the end. Input, which is data, is fed into the computer for processing of the data. The processing of the data is through the software program. And output happens after the data is processed by the computer using the software program. In the case of machine learning, you feed data and you also feed output. The program then determines what is an output and what is not an output in the data set by creating a series of steps called as algorithm. So in a matter of speaking, program is a kind of an output in the case of machine learning. So please understand this difference. There is a key difference between machine learning and traditional programming. There's one more difference which you will see in the next slide. You see, computer science, the traditional computer science programming is actually at the intersection of computer science knowledge and domain knowledge. Machine learning, on the other hand, is actually at the intersection of computer science and mathematics and statistics. Yes, you heard it right. Knowledge of mathematics and statistics is needed for a successful data scientist. So machine learning actually is at the cross section of computer science knowledge and mathematics and statistics knowledge. Of course, domain knowledge will definitely help, but mathematics and statistics knowledge are a critical piece of machine learning. I hope you understand this key difference between traditional programming and machine learning. So that's what I wanted to cover. So quick summary of what we covered in today's session. We covered what is AI, what is data science, what is machine learning, what are the various applications of AI. In next session, you're going to get introduced to Python. We're going to start with Python basics. We're going to cover variables, operators, and class and objects. Okay. So before we close Q&A, I've listed some of the questions that I've got from you. Let's go one by one. What skills are needed for a data scientist? I think I covered this in today's session. You need good programming skills, no doubts. In addition to that, you need to have a good understanding of mathematics and statistics. That's going to be a critical piece. Of course, domain knowledge, logical, analytical skills, all those things are important. But at the core, you need to know programming skills and mathematics and statistics knowledge. These two are needed for a good data scientist. Which sector? That's the next question. Which sector hires data scientists? Data scientists are now being hired across all sectors. Even government departments, government companies are doing that. Banks were the first to hire data scientists in a big way because the adoption of AI was very high in banks initially. But as time went by, other sectors have caught up. Now, every sector is deploying artificial intelligence, and hence data scientists are needed in all sectors. Next question. I don't know much of programming. Can I become a data scientist? Well, you cannot. You need to know programming. Programming is important. We're going to cover Python in this training program. So without programming skills, you cannot become a data scientist. But you can become an end user of data science and artificial intelligence technology. For that, you don't need to know programming. But if you want to be a practitioner of AI, you must know programming. Got it? Last question. Will AI ever replace humans? No, I don't think so. I think this also we covered, right? We're still in the realm of peak AI, where we are detecting patterns based on past interactions or performances. Only when we reach strong AI, where the software or the system will act almost like humans, right? That's when we will reach a stage where AI can replace humans. We are far, far away from that, right? So I don't think AI is going to replace humans, at least in the short term, right? When I say short term, I'm talking of 25, 30 years. I don't think it's going to replace humans. It's going to aid humans, right? It's going to help human beings perform their tasks better. So it's not going to replace humans. Okay. So good. If you have questions, you can always bring it for the next session, right? This is not the end, so this is just the first session of the entire training program. Lastly, Before we wind up today's session, I want to leave you with this image. I want you to ponder over this image. You can see someone is playing chess. There are a lot of pictures being taken, and there is a computer you can see. Probably this gentleman is playing against a computer. Do you think so? So think about it. I always felt there's a watershed moment in the history of artificial intelligence. It happened not very long time back. Okay, uh, this picture is probably 20 years old. So think about it. Okay, as I said, this event is a watershed event in the history of artificial intelligence. We'll start the next session by discussing about this photo. Got it? So that concludes the first session of the data science training. Thank you.